You may have noticed the oppression women face in many of the books you read, or you may have noticed the way they are treated or viewed in the book. Feminist criticism uses feminist ideology to critique literature. Look at The Color Purple by Alice Walker, for example. This book is full of ways women are oppressed and undermined in society. Throughout the book, the protagonist Celie describes many hardships she faces on a daily basis regarding her gender and how she is treated because of her gender. Gender is society's definition on femininity and masculinity in our lives. This heavily affects how our individual identities are formed. Moreover, it is how we relate to others, and it determines how we are treated by others, by the ones around us. Gender plays a big role in The Color Purple, and there are many ways in which gender is used as an excuse for violence and dominance. Let's look at some of the ways women are approached in The Color Purple. Let's look at the 12th letter Celie writes to God. Here, when Kate orders Harpo to bring the water, he refuses her order, claiming that women work. I'm a man. This is an example of a patriarchal assumption about gender and their assumed gender roles that continuously oppress women. Here, Harpo is assuming that only women should be doing the household chores, such as getting water, and because he is a man, he should not be doing such things. This is a common assumption about gender and their gender roles, casting men as the protectors and leaders of a household, and casting women as the nurturing and the ones to keep the house in order for the men. Another example of this occurring in The Color Purple is when Paul proposes Celie for marriage to Mr. In the 7th letter Celie writes to God, she explains how Mr. is only agreeing to marry Celie because she ain't no stranger to hard work, and she clean. This is showing how Mr. has these societal assumptions in his mind to think that that is all he needs to look for in a wife. Similarly, in the 9th letter Celie writes she tells God how she spent her wedding day. She says she spent the day running after Mr.'s kids, taking care of them as best she can, because that is what was expected of her by Mr. In terms of feminist criticism, this is clearly unacceptable, because this is just an assumption that they are following and clearly needs to be addressed. Another aspect of feminist criticism present in The Color Purple is a thought of domestic violence embedded in their society as an expectation men should follow. In the 13th letter to God, Celie writes, Harpo asked his daddy why he beat me. Mr. say, 'cause she my wife. Plus, she's stubborn. Here, Mr. is justifying his reasoning for domestic violence with the claim that he only does it because Celie is his wife. Harpo then asks Celie, how come you stubborn? Rather than asking her why she stays with him, or asking Mr. why that is an acceptable excuse to abuse Celie. This again is showing how domestic violence is ingrained in their society and culture because it shows that it is something that occurs throughout the society and not just with Mr. As said in the letter, Celie says Mr. reminds her of Pa because of his actions towards her. In this case, the domestic violence and rape she faces. The reason Celie doesn't fight back is the abuse is because in a sense she has lost hope in being able to succeed if she were to try. She recalls Nettie telling her to fight back for herself in letter 12, but is unable to because she knows Nettie's fighting didn't do her any good. She writes, I don't fight, I stay where I'm told, but I'm alive. Celie's goal is to stay alive after the abuse, knowing she won't be able to fight because she doesn't know how to fight the men around her. She hopes to be able to survive the events and stay strong. Through a feminist criticism lens, this would be looked at as a desire for male dominance for power. All the men involved in violence tend to act as they do because they are expected to by society to dominate the women in their lives. One way to gain this dominance is through violence. In conclusion, many books use feminist criticism to express how women are treated and undermine due to society's stereotypes and norms. The Color Purple speaks heavily about gender and their traditional gender roles. Similarly, the book describes how male dominance and power is abused by using their power as a tool for violence against women. Think about the ways women are looked at next time you read a book. How is she being treated? How is she looked at? What is her role in the book? These are all important questions to ask when evaluating literature through feminist criticism.